Hello Libra Sun, Scorpio Rising. My name is Tanya and I'll be doing a year ahead of you reading for you. Guess in a way it's also a viewing. I'm going to be pulling 12 cards, one card for each month, starting from October of this year through September of next year. I'm also going to pull a card from the bottom of the deck that might give some additional information for the year. It might have an overall theme or some key point that we come back to multiple times throughout the year. So let's see. What can I tell you also? With Scorpio as your rising and Libra as your sun, that means your sun is most likely in the 12th house, which is the house kind of hidden things, of things we don't see or things that we don't let others see about ourselves. For you, that may mean that you don't like to share your finances, successes, or failures with others in any way. You like to keep that part of your life private. And with Scorpio as your rising, you may also come off as a bit of a mysterious or deep person. So with those two combined, you may really come off as someone who's a bit of a mystery, who might be hard to know or hard to understand even in a way. In some cases, you also really trust your intuition, or at least that's the appearance you give everybody. So let's see what we have coming up over the next year for Libra Sun, Scorpio Rising. What do we have for next year for Leo Sun, Scorpio Rising? So we're going to go from October through to September. October, we have the Ace of Pentacles. November, the Temperance. December, the Fool. January, the Two of Swords. February, the Six of Cups. And in March, the Four of Cups. In April, the Three of Pentacles. May, Judgment. June, the Nine of Pentacles. July, the Hanged Man. August, the Queen of Wands. In September, the Death and Rebirth card. And then on the bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Swords. So I think this next year in general for you, with the Nine of Swords here, is going to be about overcoming anxiety, about letting go of doubts, of fears, of the things that hold you back. These are fears. So it's a fear about what might happen, not what's actually happening, if that makes sense. This is about you recognizing that it's a natural human thing to fear change in some ways, and you just need to push through it or overcome it. Acknowledge that it's there, recognize it, maybe even try and find out how or why it's coming in. Why is your body reacting that way? Why is your mind reacting that way? What is it that's triggering you, and finding a way to overcome that over this next year, or integrate that learning and those lessons throughout the year. So let's see what we have. Okay, it feels a little bit like there's going to be some emotional changes going on and some decisions that have to be made over this next year. So let's start out here with October, with the Ace of Pentacles. For October, so this is indicating some new phase in life, either in work or home life. Pentacles have to do with material things. Aces are that initiation, that first step, that first idea, the seed that has been planted, or the actual seed in your hand, as it's showing here, that you're going to plant for the future. So something that you can harvest later on. It's also typically, aces in general are a faster moving energy. So this might be an opportunity or something comes up that you need to act on in the month of October to get the ball rolling. So just be aware that something may come up in October that has big potential for the future, a payoff in the future. And you may want to look into that more, look deeply into it, make sure it's right for you, and then take that leap. Plant those seeds if it is right for you. In November, we have the Temperance card. For me, this is a card of alchemy, of transforming one thing into another thing. And he has the sun and the moon that he's working with, right? It's yin and yang energy. So it's also about finding balance as you work through some sort of transformation or change. It's also a major arcana card, so it's a bigger life theme here. So there's some change. There may be some upheavals or something that's changing. You're in the middle of change. You may already have started it, or the ball may already be rolling on it. And you need to make sure that you find your center while you're going through this in November. That you find a way to balance your energy and your needs with the needs of those around you in November, is what I'm feeling from this. Because things are going to be in that state of flux, in the state of transformation. It's actively going on, and you just need to make sure that you're managing, that things are flowing correctly, that when you need to put more emphasis on one side or the other, that you are ready for that, and you have control over that for yourself. In December, we have the Fool. Also a major arcana card, the very first card in the deck. This is about change. This is about taking a leap of faith, just trusting things are going to work out, even though you have no idea which direction you're going to go next. You're going to go for it. Whatever it is, you're ready to make this change. You're ready to make this leap. And in December, this is about taking it. About falling off the edge of the cliff, doing that giant trust fall, and just trusting that the universe has your back and things are going to work out. This may feel, actually this is pretty point on a little bit with you with your placement so far. I mean, it depends entirely on everything else in your chart, but with just having the Scorpio Rising and the Libra Sun in the 12th house, this could be very much something that you would do, is taking that leap of faith, of trusting your intuition in whatever this is and just going for it. And then we come to January. So these kind of fit together for me. Because with the Two of Swords, swords are about our thoughts, our ideas, a communication. So there is something, a decision you need to make with the Two of Swords. It's about making a decision. There's going to be a choice that you have to make. It's going to feel overwhelming. One of them isn't going to be any worse or better than the other. So it's purely about, after you've weighed the option, if you've done the pro and con list, you need to not focus so much on the words that are being spoken or the way it is proposed, and trust yourself to make the decision without knowing all of the facts. That's also coming through. But okay, we're going with it. You can't make a wrong choice. You just have to make a choice one way or the other. So when you're struggling with this decision, the best way to make it is going to be to just find some stillness and go with the one that feel into your heart energy, into not your brain. Kind of want to turn that off in a way, but just go with the one that feels the most right and just go with that direction. That's for January. In February, we have the Six of Cups. Cups, again, are about our emotions and our intuition, but this feels very much like an emotion thing. This typically it's a card of nostalgia, of remembering, of memories. So this could be literally like going through an old photo book, like the actual photos in the photo book. Maybe you're at your grandmother's house and looking through all the family photos in her albums, and I think it's memories even of your parents as children. And it's a walk down memory lane is what I'm getting for some of you. So this may be where you're spending time with some grandparents in February, looking through that stuff or helping them go through their things or going through their things in some way, and just remembering those or learning more about accessing those memories of your elders so that you can integrate them and they become a part of you and a part of your story too. They help round out your story, if you will, in February. In March, we have the Four of Cups. And this is a card, again, emotions, but this one is more about apathy, right? You've got 3 bowls on the one side, and someone's offering you another bowl. But you're so focused on the ones you want, you're kind of bored with bowls. And you're so focused on the fact that they're bowls that you're not looking at what's in the new bowl, the one that someone's offering for you. You're not looking at the possibilities of what could be in those bowls, of how you could fill those bowls. This card is saying, don't ignore the opportunities that come up. And this is what are we in March. Don't ignore the opportunities that come up in March. Don't get so focused on what's right in front of you and how dissatisfied you are with what's right in front of you that you miss something new, that you miss the right one, if you will. Pay attention to your surroundings in March. Pay attention to what is offered in March. And be on the lookout for something that's new to you in March. It may look the same on the outside, but if you look deeper into it, it will look different. It will feel different. It will be better. It will have what you're seeking. And now we're coming up to April with the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles is about working as a team. So this is you with a couple of other peoples. I know my words. Working together on a project and succeeding at it. But you each have your own unique set of skills. You don't all do the same thing. So this is part of a specialized team. It may be something at work, or it may be something in the community. But a very specialized team that you're working with on a special project, special team, special project, and succeeding together. It does feel like a creative project or something that for you is creative. And there are going to be some bonds formed with these other people through this process. These might be people that you get to the point where you're willing to be more open, or you feel more relaxed and at ease around throughout this process. It's very much a bonding thing for you here. Don't let your self-doubts creep in here when you're doing that work with them. Just recognize that yes, you have those doubts, and you're stepping past them. And then when you do that, we have the Judgment card here now in May. The Judgment card is about leveling up. Again, it's another major arcana card, so it's a bigger life theme, and it's with this through this project, through this process here. Actually, through all, it feels like it's from February, March, and April here. Through the process of rounding out your story, if you will, with the memories, and keeping your eyes open and being open to other opportunities that are out there, other options, to this team, this special project, these people that you're working with here, the bonds that you're building here. This is within you. There's a big change going on. There's this big emotional growth, emotional fulfillment, of satisfaction with what you're capable of accomplishing, with what you've allowed into your life, with what you've allowed yourself to experience. And the Judgment card here in May is very much about leveling up, about moving on to the next level in something. So this is a breakthrough month for you in May, where you're pushing past these fears and doubts and things like that, and letting yourself trust not just others but yourself, trusting in your own intuition, trusting in your judgment, your literal judgment, and your ability to make the right choices for you. So this is going to be all about trusting yourself and really feeling that, feeling it, acknowledging it, recognizing it in May. And then in June, we have the Nine of Pentacles. This is a card about success. It's almost to the end of a pattern, almost to the end of a cycle, because it's a 9. And Pentacles, this I think is where the seed that we planted back in October has now grown up and is ready to harvest. You're starting to see the results of that here in June. And if this is some literal seeds that you're planting in October and that come up in May, because that's a possible thing too, let me know. That would be fascinating for me. But the Nine of Pentacles is taking time to be present in your successes, to acknowledge them, to admire your work, to admire what you've built, to sit with it, to be present with it, to really enjoy your success, enjoy what you've built, enjoy the life that you've created for yourself. It's a very much a card of satisfaction, of pride, of joy in what you've been able to create. And that's your energy there for June. In July, this is a card of surrender. So we have the Hangman, another major arcana card. And this is a card of surrender. A card of flipping things upside down, of changing your viewpoint on something, getting a new perspective, if you will. I am feeling very much the new perspective on something. I think through all of this growth, there may be some situation that you used to view in a negative way, or in some way that we're now, you're recognizing that your opinion or your thoughts on it have changed as you've matured over this year. Your idea or what you thought it was has changed. I just keep getting flipping. You're flipping the flipping the coin. Something like, okay, flipping the switch. So something happens here in July where you're flipping the switch. Something gets turned on in you, some sort of new enlightenment, some sort of new idea, but it feels very much like an inner switch. And it may be related to taking the time to be present with what you've built for yourself, to acknowledging your successes, to taking pride in what you've done. And now you're seeing things that you've gone through in the past in a different way because they helped you reach this point. So July for you may be very much a time of self-reflection about looking over the previous year, or 2 or 3 for some of you, and seeing how each of these big items or certain things led up to this point for you. And would you have gotten to this point if not for those things happening? That's very much what it feels like for July, is just that acknowledgement, that recognition that this was your path and you have always been on the right path. You are on your path. Even though we don't always like the way our path is going, we chose it, we're on it, and one way or the other, you are on your path. And you've overcome the hard things. And then we move into August here, and this is very much, so this is the Queen of Wands. Wands are a fire element, so they're very active, passionate. It can be all consuming sometimes, right? We get super focused on it and all wrapped up in it. They're not afraid of, they're bold. This Queen of Wands, I happen to love her, the Queen of Wands. She is just taking so much joy in where she's at and what she's doing right now. And this is your energy in August of next year, because you are of how far you've come. And not just over this last year. It feels like something that's been building up over at least a couple of years. And this time that you took to really look back and see how far you've come and recognize where you're at now. And you just are taking so much pleasure in where you are. So you're acknowledging how far you've come, and there's some other new project that now that you've been through this, you have that energy. You feel confident and bold enough and empowered enough to take part in it, to take this next step, to start this new thing that's coming to, that you've always wanted to do. And now you're in a place that you can do it. And you do it. So this is you taking your power, feeling your power, acknowledging your power, sitting in your power. In August, you are the queen. You are that queen in August of next year. That is your energy. Very much in charge, feeling very bold, feeling very confident. This may be something active too that you have going on, where you're it. You're the one. You're the I'm going to use a word that I can't use on YouTube, so I'm not going to use it. But you got it. You're the boss. And then we come to September with another major arcana card, the Death card or Rebirth card. So this is a card of transformation. So you've reached this inflection point is the word I want to use, right? You've built up all this success and all this momentum, and you've had so much personal growth. And now you're stepping into the next thing in your life, the next change. And this is a voluntary change is what it feels like for me, because you have had this success, right? And the seeds that you planted in October of last year, you're harvesting that, and it feels like something that continues to give. You may now be changing the way that you live your life. That's what's coming through for September of next year. So out of this and everything else, but this energy, this new you that's coming through, and maybe that's all this is for some of you in September, is just being with that new you, discovering that new you, learning her, integrating her into you. And it does feel like feminine energy, but it's very much integrating into you. And there's something else here. I'm waiting on it. It's like you can see you see the new path. You see the new opportunities. You see the direction that you want to go. So you may be starting to make plans here in September for how you want to expand or how you want to change something for you personally. For some of you, this feels like a move, like a literal move, not just from one house to another in the same area, but to a new city or a new someplace that you have not lived before, with a little more distance between maybe people from your past or something else. But you're taking steps in the right direction for you and taking control and charge of your life. And overcoming all of this. And that's what this year has been about, is overcoming those fears. Overcoming your apathy. overcoming this fear, this aggravation about having to make a decision, even integrating or learning more or something about your past or something that you need to, that helps you heal and fills in your story. I just keep getting that here with this one. It helps fill in your story. But really building up and leaving this kind of energy behind and really coming into your confidence and growing so much and transformation. This is a beautiful journey for the Libra Sun, Scorpio Risings out there. And that's what I have for you. Please hit that like button and please hit the subscribe button and help my channel grow. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later.